I love you. Oh, well, golly gee, and welcome back to the Couch Potatoes. I love you so. I am the Green Traveler of Gorsh.
He surely does, guys. He lets me read his diary from time to time, and he's just like,
no, I don't.
Oh, fucking... Then who gave me permission?
Don't tell them that. I don't keep a diary. don't tell them.
I'm the Faceless Leon. I don't know if you introduced yourself. I think you did. This is a podcast about movies and TV, and it's called Green and Faceless on the Couch. And he's the Green Traveler, if he didn't say. Just in case.
Just to cover our bases. And we're coming back at you with the Nicolas Cage playlist. We're keeping it going. We're riding a crazy train. Yeah, we're having a great time.
Definitely the crazy train.
We're jumping a little ahead into his career, into 1996, to one of my brother's. Like, I've never actually asked my brother, but I'm sure if he were to write a list of his 10 favorite films, The Rock would be on it. I remember him watching it a lot as a kid. Like, he loved this movie.
Like, because of the excellent plot, or because of the excellent performances?
Well, I think, honestly, it's just because it is a fast-paced action that you don't have to... Your brain doesn't have to be on for it. It's just adrenaline rush.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know,
your brain does not need to be on for this movie. Maybe mine was a little bit too on for it.
That's the thing, critics aren't going to like those films. So my brother and I have wildly different tastes in films. Now, there are many, many times where those tastes overlap, and we both enjoy a film. Like, he loved the Batman. I love the Batman. So, like, there are moments. But there are many times where he will love a movie, and then I will watch the movie and be like, nah, it's not for me, dog. And The Rock's one of them. The Rock is one of those films where I'm just like, nah.
So
he'd be like, I'm going to watch The Rock. And I'd be like, nah, I don't want to watch that with you. Sadly, we only have one TV, so I'm just going to go over there and read a book, I guess, because you're older than me.
So if I could synopsize this movie, The Rock,
yes, please do,
is the little-known...
Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, it is the little-known biopic about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, starring Nicolas Cage as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and that was controversial.
starring the Island of Alcatraz as Dwayne "The Rock"
Johnson. This is like a backwards prison heist movie slash terrorist attack movie. And before that genre was like super flooded the market.
Yeah, thanks Michael Bay.
Yeah, thanks Michael Bay.
He's the director of this, by the way, people.
Yes, this is one of his blow up movies, and he got to blow some stuff up. You will not be disappointed.
I think
if you were looking for.
I think it's his highest rated film on IMDb. I think I read that somewhere. Yeah, or maybe it's his highest rated Rotten Tomatoes film. I can't remember which, but
oh man. So this is a movie where Stanley Goodspeed, but they do call him all sorts of things. Godspeed. Yeah. It's supposed to be like, I don't know. They tried to do something with it, but it was nothing.
No.
Yeah.
And that's Nick Cage. For everybody out there, Stanley Goodspeed, which I found out just before we started recording. I was reading the Wikipedia real fast. Arnold Schwarzenegger had been offered the role of Stanley Goodspeed first.
Oh,
he turned it down because he didn't like the script. Nick Cage came along. He's like, "That's perfect for me, man."
I could not imagine this character being super ripped like Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it works.
Okay.
Honestly, Nick Cage's wild ass performance works perfectly for this movie.
Yes, it really does. Like it's such a strange character that he is giving that it once again almost doesn't fit this movie, but because this movie is buck wild, it fucking works. So Stanley is a chemist for the FBI whose job is basically to defuse chemical bombs. That's basically his job. And
he has a lot of fun doing it.
He enjoys his work, but he's used to being cooped up. Like, he does his work on base typically, but then Ed Harris has to come in and be a general that's mad at the government and stuff, and he and his team of captains and Major Tom Baxter, played by David Morse.
I like David Morse.
Yeah, I do like David Morse. I haven't honestly seen him in all that too many things, but he did really good job at being Mike Webster. Is that what it was in the Concussion movie? He was in.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was him. Right? Whatever. Okay, if we're wrong,
I think so.
Out,
yeah.
You know.
No, I think you're right. I think that was him.
So
yeah.
Ed and Dave, they go and they steal like the worst chemical weapons that the government ever created, even though it was after the Geneva Convention when they created it.
Yeah, it was like something like if they have like 100 or whatever little beads of this deadly thing. And if just one of them goes off, like everything within a 50-mile radius is dead.
Yeah, the bomb. Yeah, if the bomb explodes, that is right. But if it's just like one of them in a room, it would. I think they said it'd feel like it was like 80 yards or something. It was a lot smaller.
It's ridiculous.
It was a lot smaller, but still ridiculous. But I mean, it's a gas. Gas goes everywhere. But whatever. They steal them. They do the thing where they show what the evil thing that they just stole can do by making a bad boo-boo mistake with the really poisonous stuff. And it killed some of the guys real gross-like with lesions and everything. And
it was nasty.
So we know what the shit does. And then they go and they threaten they invade Alcatraz, not knowing that there was going to be a tour that day. So they ended up with a lot of hostages, and they then threaten to blow up, to poison America and drop it on San Francisco. I had to think of the fucking city. That's where I was lost. And so they're like, we will kill San Francisco unless you give us X amount of money, because we're mad that you let our people die behind enemy lines because you were worried about being found out about your shitty shit. Your shady shit. Yeah. That it was shitty.
And like, to dissect that plot... So Jesus, it's so ridiculous, man. I love it. I love the villains. I love it. I love that like James Bond villain idea where it's just like, all right, I'm gonna blow up everybody unless you give me $10 million. And it's just like, okay, I get it. That's your plan. Like, he even tells Ed Harris, even tells like all of his soldiers. He's like, you walk out of this mission a millionaire, but you'll never be able to set foot on on American soil ever again.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? And they're like, yeah, we don't like them anymore. It's like, got it.
They're being dumb. Yeah, it definitely, I don't know. I like Ed Harris's character, because Ed Harris is, good at what he does. And, but Francis X. Hummel, you didn't think it through. And in fact, I feel like he feels as much at the end of the movie. That's as much as I will say about that.
Yeah, I like how they play with his moral dilemma.
Yes.
I think that's a really good ad. I actually do, like, all jokes aside, It's a very good popcorn plot.
Yeah.
You know, it is just it's like, again, it's like James Bond, how it's just like a ridiculous ride, and it's like, okay, sure. Like, I don't know why, you know, anyone of intelligence would look at this plot and say, yeah, that's going to fall through. You're going to either die on the island with the virus, or you're going to die because the government will kill you somehow. So, like...
Yeah. So...
It's like the likelihood of you actually getting away with millions and millions of dollars is very slim.
It's very slim. Yeah, like what were they thinking? And, you know, like, the FBI called it as an obvious bluff. Like, they're like, okay, we know this general... He values human life. He doesn't want to do this. So we're just gonna, we're gonna send in people to disarm these bombs, and when that's done, we can get the hostages out of there.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing too. I don't think the hostages are seen after like the first hour mark.
No,
like there's a moment in the movie where they're still alive, but they're just done. Like,
no,
we don't need these extras anymore.
They come back in, like 4 of them come back in at the end, and there was like maybe like 11 or 40 or something like that. I know that those are totally different numbers, but
right, 11 or 40.
So. The FBI, they decide that they want to pull this man who is in prison. This is the buck wildest part of the story, I think. They want to pull this man that they buried in prison because he knew too much, because he has escaped Alcatraz before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they know that he's like the most dangerous man. So...
Yeah, I think it's implied at the end. This is spoilers for the very final scene. It's a throwaway scene, but you know, it's a funny scene.
Yeah.
But I think they imply that he killed JFK. I'm not sure, but
you think so? Oh man. Okay, I read that scene totally differently now. Oh shit.
Because he's the one who sent him there. He was just like, there's photo evidence, and he was just like, I was locked away for a certain position or a certain job that I did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think that's what he's trying to imply. I don't know.
Wow. I mean, he has been locked away long enough for that to be the case. Well, that's something. That's something indeed. So John Patrick, Captain John Patrick Mason, Sean Connery's character, he, I think, was a British intelligence officer. I think.
I don't know.
But anyhow,
I mean,
they tell him that they'll give him a pardon if he takes Stanley into Alcatraz. And, you know, pretty soon, once the shit hits the fan, which does pretty quickly because it's an action movie, Stanley tells him that they tore up the pardon. So that's kind of a spoiler as well. So now he's just doing it because he's out. He's getting to do something.
I mean, and also there's, you know, thousands of lives at stake.
Yes, also
like, he does have a moral as well.
Yeah. Sorry for questioning your motives, Patrick Mason, John Patrick.
Yeah, fictional character Patrick Mason. No, I do love Connery's performance, actually. Him and Nick Cage work pretty well together, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's like the weirdest pair, but at the same time, it works really well.
Yeah, and the only thing I don't understand is, like, clearly they're not going to send in these two men by themselves. A man who has no combat training, he is just a chemist, a chemical weapons deactivator, and this crazy madman that just broke out of prison. Like, clearly they're not going to just send those two in by themselves. They send a whole team of trained experts. Yeah. And in one scene, those experts have the opportunity where they're all surrounded. They're all surrounded by Ed Harris's people. And Ed Harris is like, all right, we don't want to kill you. Clearly, we have the upper hand on you. We have a lot of protection. We have much better guns than you do. We have the higher ground, Anakin. Like, you are screwed here. So lay down your guns. So lay down your guns. We will put you up with the hostages.
Uh-huh.
And we won't kill you. Now, I understand why the team just decided to say fuck it and started shooting. But I do think that at the same time they would think about the strategy and think, yes, we are more helpful to the rest of the people that are about to die if this bomb explodes if we don't die here and are just locked up.
Yeah.
Because from there we can actually do something. But no, they're just, no, they do the very masculine male thing. They're like, no, fuck all strategy. We're gonna die with glory.
Yes, yeah.
Dumb.
I believe I believe that was SEAL Team 6, supposedly.
Okay.
And
the Tom Clancy's SEAL Team 6.
Yes. And the Francis X. Hummel's crew, they were a very highly decorated division of the Marines. So they were kind of like on the same. So there's two warrior groups on the same level, and the one had the higher ground. And we just all know that you just can't win, Anakin. You just can't.
No. You just can't. It's a dumb scene in my opinion because it's like they went all out for the male chauvinist, like, yeah. Like, no, I think any military commander in his right mind would have thought about that situation and thought, if we all die here, humanity's hopes are screwed if this thing gets out. Well, not all of humanity, but a good portion of USA. Yeah. So it's because
once they're on the inside, there's a lot of options there. Like they can organize those people. They could, attempt an escape from there, or use their words like humans and put doubts in these other people's minds about their stupid plan.
Yeah. And also way back as the last chance option, the final possible thing that could happen in their benefit, they knew Nick Cage and Sean Connery, those two crazy madmen who were tagging along with them, weren't with them. They knew that they were down below safe.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, it's the dumbest decision ever made in cinema. Not really, but it's one of them.
So when we remake The Rock, we will of course cast The Rock as would you think he'd be John Patrick Mason or Stanley Goodspeed?
I think he would be funny as Goodspeed, but no, I think you would cast Kevin Hart as Goodspeed, and you would you make him. Yeah.
You fucking nailed it. So Netflix, if you're listening,
call us.
We would love to make this movie.
And Michael Bay too, if you're listening and you want to just remake.
Yeah,
The Rock.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of puts our job out. I guess we could write it.
I mean, I don't need to. I just want to sell it. Like, I don't need to.
Okay, we just sell the idea. You're like, you don't want to work on this movie.
No.
Something tells me that we don't get the right to sell that idea, given that they have all the rights to this IP.
Well, I'll fucking sue them otherwise. So. They haven't met my lawyer yet.
Ah, yes. It's my mom. John P. Peabody.
John P. Peabody.
Yeah.
It's actually just John Peabody. But the P is the middle initial. John Body is his name.
I see.
Anyways. God, what else is there about this movie? There's a weird sex scene, which is hilarious. It's on the boat. Yeah.
Wait.
Nick Cage's partner, I don't think they're married or anything. No, it's his girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah.
She comes home at the beginning of the movie after he has deactivated a bomb and left early to vent from that situation. His girlfriend drops the bombshell on him that she's pregnant. And she wants to marry him. Yeah, she's just like, we got to get married because I'm pregnant, or it's her train of thought basically.
Right.
And Nick Cage is like, well, fuck, I don't know how to think about that right now. Right. So why don't we just shelve that until the end of the movie? And the very next scene, they're just having sex on the boat. and that's when he gets the call to come to the rock or come to Alcatraz, and it's just like, I don't know, the whole scene was just weird. Like, I don't get why.
Yeah, no, it was unnecessary.
And like Nick Cage's reaction is like to having sex was hilarious too, because he's just like having like normal conversation with her, which I mean that happens, but it's so funny to watch Nick Cage do it. I don't know how to describe it. If you don't remember the scene, you just have to watch it. It's so funny.
Yeah, that was a pretty awkward scene. This whole movie kind of felt awkward, honestly. I think if I'm going to jump into my closing statements with it, I didn't really care for it. I'm not super into these action movies anyways. There were some fun parts. Like I liked the rail cart parts. That was fun.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really funny parts in that scene. So for it having comical elements, it makes it watchable, and it makes the ridiculousness of the movie more acceptable, I would say. But I still didn't super care for it. Still competent film, I guess. Full face.
Wow. Yeah, I give it 2.5 stars. It's what Michael Bay's known for. It's just it's flaming shit tin trash. Like it's crazy.
If you love it, you love it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Like I genuinely wish I could enjoy films like this where I could just go in, shut my brain off, you know, turn off that critic's mind and just enjoy the action. Because this film does have fun action and a lot of hilarious comedy, like you said. But it's just it's not the kind of film for me. I still give it 2.5 stars. That's me being lenient. I would normally give it like, you know, way lower. But way lower. But I don't know. Even on the technical aspect, there's some good stuff, and then there's a lot of bad stuff. Like there's a lot of I don't know if you caught this. There's a lot of moments with Nick Cage's character where the camera was just constantly moving or zooming in on him or zooming out. Yeah, and like it made me think that the cinematographer was afraid to go near Nick Cage. So he was just always filming him from a distance. Like
that's really funny.
There's so many times. There's especially the interrogation scene. They have Sean Connery in the FBI room or whatever, and they're talking to Sean. It's just like, hey, we have a situation going on. This is what's going to happen. We'll give you a pardon, blah, 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 blah. And then on the other side of the two-way mirror, you have Nick Cage and the other people sitting there watching. And throughout that entire scene, every single shot of Nick Cage, it's zooming in on him. It's zooming away. And it's moving over here. And then, like, that whole scene, I was just like, is he afraid? Like, is like, what's going on here?
So I did not actually see that as fear. I did take notice that there was a lot of movement in this fucking movie for the camera frame. And I was like, damn, did this movie fucking invent shaky cam? Because it's a lot earlier than I thought that shaky cam was a thing, to be frank.
I think it's Michael Bay's, like, genuinely, I don't think the guy was afraid. I think it's Michael Bay's way of trying to make it seem like it's fast paced, like it's flowing. Sure. And it's like, there is a good way to do that. And like, not that he's not doing it in a good way. It's just, it was just funny because a lot of it was always on Nick Cage's character. There's so many moments where it does that off of Nick Cage's character, where there's other people that it's, you know, doing a pan shot or something like that. Yeah. But like every single Nick Cage shot for at least like 2 or 3 scenes was just zooming in. Here we go. He doesn't even have a line here. Here we go. We're going into his face.
Well, I mean, I feel like they all must have this sense that he is the most interesting thing in the room. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, undoubtedly.
Yeah. Unless Sean Connery is there. I'd be more interested in Sean. I'm sorry, Nick, but you are more of an enigma, but Sean is Sean fucking Connery, okay?
Right. He's a legend.
He's a legend.
I mean, actually, Nick Cage is a legend too.
Legendary.
But no, again, though, his performance here, perfect for the movie. It's an easy recommend if you love that style of action film where, you know, it doesn't require a lot of thinking. It just, It's a popcorn action film. You just enjoy it. And if that's for you, The Rock is hilarious and great. If it's not for you, if you're like me, God, I hope you're not, just don't watch it. Just avoid it. I don't recommend it.
It's not the greatest. There's definitely movies that do this better, but damn, if you love a good Nick Cage chuckle, then this is the spot for it. So I recommend it with conditions. You have to meet the requirements, the prerequisites of this, like a course. And then you got to discuss whether or not it was good.
There's a merch idea for you. We'll release syllabi for each film.
Oh my God.
We'll have to hire an intern.
Let us sell you our homework.
Yeah. We'll hire an intern to put all that together. To afford having an intern, even though we're not going to be paying the intern, you can help us out with that by going down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Check out our tiers, subscribe, like, comment, all the fun stuff.
I think we could do at least like $2.19 an hour, and then he can carry a cup around his neck for tips. Or they.
$2.19. You want to give them $2.19 an hour? That's like close to $17 at the end of the day.
Yeah, I know, but
we can't swing that.
Listen, we gotta keep up with the times.
And the times are everybody's got an unpaid internship.
Well, I think that's been our show. Yep.
Yeah. I'm the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good night. That was fun. Did I stop it? Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. If you like the show, please show your support by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Like, follow, subscribe, wherever you might listen. We also now have a Patreon account. If you feel so inclined to support us in a financial manner, please become a patron by visiting patreon.com/greenandfaceless. You can also find more information about us on our Facebook account or on the FictionWorks 19 Instagram account. Thank you so much for listening.